I'm with Marcus Bastianin, Director of Sales and Marketing. Marcus, I understand that Everest Sciences is presenting some new inlet cooling products at PowerGen this year. Tell me a bit about them.
That's right. We are showcasing 3 of our new product lines, the EcoCool product series, EcoChill product series, and the HydroFlex Cool. And these are all based on our indirect evaporative heat exchange technology that we dubbed the Everest Sciences cycle.
What is indirect evaporative cooling?
Indirect evaporative cooling uses a mechanism of evaporation and the latent heat of evaporation, but what we do differently is we use a cross-flow heat exchanger where the cooling media of evaporation, much like perspiration on your skin when it evaporates, it cools your skin. We keep that segregated in a separate channel in our heat exchanger. Then when primary inlet air that goes to the gas turbine enters the heat exchanger, heat flows from the primary air to the secondary air without allowing moisture or the secondary airflow to come into contact with the primary air. Effectively, it is a very low power consuming chilling cycle.
What's unique about the EcoCool technology?
What we're doing with EcoCool is we have a hybrid system where through the Everest cycle, our indirect evaporative heat exchanger, coupled with air washing, we're actually able to bring turbine inlet air temperatures down below ambient wet bulb. And we're doing this with a power consuming design that's very equivalent or very similar to most evaporative techniques. What's unique about the EcoCool specifically is that with typical evaporative cooling techniques, you cannot break the wet bulb barrier as a temperature reduction. EcoCool breaks that efficiency barrier with a combination of hybrid cooling processes that now allow inlet air temperatures lower than wet bulb with low parasitic designs.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned the low power consuming features of it. Could you elaborate a bit on that?
Sure. It stands to reason that cooling inlet air gives us additional power output and better fuel efficiencies and heat rates. However, if it takes a lot of power to cool the inlet air, then the net power gain and the net heat rates are really not improved as much. For example, if we can, on a hot day, cool inlet air enough that we can get a 20% power gain, but we have to consume 10% of that power to cool the inlet air, the net power gain is only 10%. Using our low power consuming cooling technologies, we can get the 20% power gain, but only burn perhaps 5% of that power to get the temperatures back down. So the net power gain now is 15%. And that is better overall economics for the operator and gives us very good return on investment on our cooling technologies.
What are some of the key differences between EcoChill and EcoCool?
EcoCool is a evaporative-only based cooling technology that brings inlet air temperature below wet bulb. However, in some applications, our users would like to drive inlet air temperatures down to specific, consistent temperature base that are cooler than even what our EcoCool can accomplish. So what we do with EcoChill is we do our indirect evaporative heat exchanger, we add a supplementary chilling cycle to it, and we also have our air wash cycle incorporated. So now our users have the flexibility of a true hybrid design where they can combine whichever technologies together to get the most effective cooling possible. Also, I should mention, because the indirect evaporative cooling process is really a refrigeration process that takes very low power to run, we pre-cool the air with our indirect evaporative cooling and then finish the chilling cycle with our EcoChill product with the refrigeration cycle. What that really means and equates and what matters to our users is that we can get equivalent cooling performance to conventional refrigeration, but we do it at about half the parasitic loads. Again, the net power output will increase and the return on investment for our users is significantly greater with this technology.
So you can chill as effectively as using mechanical cooling but use less power?
That's right. But even though we can accomplish that, the EcoChill product is even more than that. We fully engineer these packages to incorporate the chilling package and the cooling tower and the compressors into single units that we ship from our factory complete and fully tested. So when they arrive at the job site, there is no integration that needs to be accomplished anymore. It is all done at our factory, so when we ship it to the job site, it is as close to, without being cavalier, plug and play as it maybe can be.
There's a lot of talk about greenhouse gases these days. How do these products fit into that?
That is certainly a lot of conversation. Well, when you do inlet cooling, you actually improve the efficiency of the engine, which means that we are going to create additional incremental power, but that incremental power comes at extremely low heat rate values and subsequently lower CO2 emissions. So even for small-sized gas turbines, which traditionally have higher heat rates compared to perhaps frame engines that are more efficient in general, using our inlet cooling technology with its low parasitic power consumption rates allows small gas turbine engines to get additional incremental power at heat rates that are resembling what large frame engines are.
What distinguishes HydroFlex Cool from the other two products?
HydroFlex Cool is a product that we developed when our customers came to us and they said, we have very poor water quality, can we still use this for inlet cooling? Our proprietary heat exchanger uses the two different airflows and two different channel paths. We can actually use water and air to cool our primary airflow that goes to the gas turbine, but we never allow that water to come into contact with the air that goes to the gas turbine. And this matters because if we use poor quality water, waterborne minerals may evaporate, contaminate the inlet air, which is not what we want to do with the air that we send to the engine. So the HydroFlex Cool is a product specifically developed to be safely used with very poor water quality and get extremely efficient cooling.
Why does using poor quality water matter?
Well, there's plenty of plants out there that have excess water available that has no use anymore. And using reclaimed water has some value. We can put this water to work for us to not only cool the inlet air so we have better power output out of the gas turbine, but also improve heat rates and fuel efficiency. So we're now using this water and evaporating it into our secondary air path and not needing to install a separate water treatment system. So the additional power output without extra water treatment gives us a very good return on investment. In addition, there's plenty of sites out there that don't have access to clean water. They may have access to well water, but that is untreated water that normally cannot be used in evaporative-based techniques. With the HydroFlex Cool, access to any kind of water, with some limitations of course, but brackish water in general can be used effectively. So now inlet cooling can come to sites that previously didn't have access to inlet cooling due to lack of water.